That was not what I was expecting to see. Okay. Um, hey everyone, Alice here. We talk to the Pretty Boys, Atome, and Gotcha Gaming, and anything else that may get me in trouble. So, I haven't really been around for a few days. Been doing some life stuff, just been busy. Haven't really done much with Love and DeepSpace. You know, life happens, shit happens. So all I've been really doing is logging in, doing my dailies. I haven't been
Are you sure you want this?
looking at um,
It's
Infold's
just,
stuff, their official stuff, and
don't you find it
so I'm a
appetizing
couple
seeing
days late. I'm like a
overflowing?
week late, I
You go
guess.
first.
So I just saw this whole
Sure.
tweet that they posted about, I'm guessing, leaked assets. So I haven't read through the whole thing. I'm going to do that now. So let's just read through it now, and you'll get my real time reaction, I guess, and just kind of see what this is about. All right, so it says we have recently become aware of an incident involving the unlawful acquisition of dissemination of in development game assets. Immediate action has been taken to collect relevant information, and a formal report has been filed with law enforcement authorities. The development team is now working closely with the authorities to support the ongoing investigation. We are continuing to closely monitor any further dissemination of the leaked content and will take appropriate action as needed. Okay, so this actually is explaining a lot of things that have been going on with Infold lately, why they've been kind of quiet, why it feels like, what happened, guys? Like, where's the content? You know, where is the enthusiasm? So they've been dealing with this internally, I guess, for probably a couple months now. Um, and that really explains to me why they've been a little quieter, why it feels like they've only been giving information as they have to. And what I mean is, when there's an event going on, here's the event, guys, here's what's going on, that's it, enjoy. Um, it kind of feels like work to rule type of um, feeling there. That's kind of what I was getting. So, this actually explains a lot because, for a number of reasons, the company could just be feeling like what's the point of us like doing any sort of announcement or things like that about what's to come, because one, that might um validate
It's
the
now noon.
information.
We should go hang out with our
um
new friends.
they could be doing damage control, trying to figure out what it is that
There's
they
no
want
need
to
to hurry.
say, things like that. So
You're very good at
I
this.
mean,
They can't escape.
to me, I do feel like I mean, I understand why it's important to them to put out their information how they want to put it out. Um, and if they don't want to release what is coming up, events, announcements, things that are coming up in game, you know,
Perhaps,
then that's
but it
up to
doesn't mean
them.
we
They
have to
have
be
their own
together.
release schedule.
Who will go
And
first?
we, I think, as
Sure.
players and everything, need to respect that they have their way of doing it. Maybe we don't all agree with it, but it is their game, their company. They get to say how they want to release the information. I'm gonna guess also they haven't done any sort of like, this is what's coming up, state of the game, roadmap stuff because of this. It could be because they don't really know what they want to talk about, or maybe they're not sure what they can if it's an ongoing investigation. Maybe they don't want to give validity to the information as well, because perhaps right now it's just leaked information, and now it's like, yeah, I don't know. To be honest, at this point, I feel it would probably be in Infold's best interest to just say what the information is. Anyways, I'm gonna continue reading. I know, like, I read one paragraph and then I went off, so let's just continue. It says we urge all players and community members to refrain from sharing or engaging with any leaked materials. Please avoid any actions that may contribute to the further spread of such content and let us work together to uphold a lawful and orderly online environment. Yeah, I mean, this is one reason why I don't really like to talk about leaks, because it's not my place to talk about. I mean, I know that I did talk about the rumored schedule, but at that point, I feel like a lot of people already knew it. Like it was already making the rounds a lot. And I know I shouldn't contribute to that. But at the same point, Infold wasn't giving us anything as well.
That's enough
That's why I
now.
feel like I'm like, if
Time
Infold
to
just
head home
kind
and
of was like,
relax.
okay, yeah, this is what's happening and this is what's
The process
true,
was a tough one, but the results were
then I don't know.
satisfying.
Uh,
We added new
it
members to the
feels weird
family.
because as I'm like, I've skimmed it, but as I'm reading this, I don't think Infold has confirmed any of the leaks. Like, hasn't confirmed what is what yet. All right. Continuing.
Our
It
record.
says we
That
would
shouldn't be
also
hard to
like
read.
to clarify that the leaked materials primarily consist
Never
of
mind.
temporary
Don't let's be
assets
imagining
and do
things.
not represent the
We
final
want to go
quality of the
first.
game. For the most accurate and up to date
Roger.
experience, please refer only to official announcements and in game content upon release. We would also like to take this opportunity to address the reoccurring issue of unauthorized leaks. Okay. Let's stop here for a moment. So they're saying that what was leaked was temporary assets. I think I know what this might partially be talking about. I'm not going to repeat exactly what it is. I'll just say that I think it's related to Caleb's um, myth event that was recently done. I think that's what that is referring to. So if you know, you know, but I'm not gonna like tell you exactly. If it's something else, then I'm not aware because, like I said, I haven't really been super active online for like the past week, especially with Love and DeepSpace stuff. So if it's something else, then I don't know what it is. And even if I did, I don't think I would repeat it. Also, I want to say that Infold does take this stuff seriously. Obviously, they posted um a whole like announcement, a whole
That's enough
statement
for now.
about it.
Time to head home with a
So I
transit.
have been
The
playing
process was a
their
tough
other
one,
game,
but the results were
the Mr.
satisfying.
Love,
We
was
added
it
new
Queen's
members to the
Choice
family.
game a little bit. Just kind of like I've always been meaning to play it. I just didn't get around to playing it, and then I played Love and Deep Space first. That's just what happened. I've played other Otome Gacha games like Obey Me. I've played other Otome games like Mystic Messenger, things like that. So it, I just never got around to it. Same with like Twisted Wonderland, all those games. Anyways, so what I noticed with the Mr. Love game is that when you start playing,
Is it promising home
there
yet,
are
old
some
man?
disclaimers and there are some, I wouldn't say they're warnings, but
Is that so?
there
I'd still
is
consider it a good time,
there
even
is
if
a
you don't
lot more
mind.
visibility in that
Every hour spent
game
with you is
to
already
tell
honored.
you don't cheat in this
Watch
game.
closely.
Don't
I'll
use
start.
other applications to try to cheat in this game, to uh, get more currency or things like that. Basically don't hack our game. And I mean that goes without saying with like every app, but the fact that it was like front and center when I started playing, it was like there tells me that maybe they've had some issues with that in the past and or they take this stuff seriously. So yeah, don't hack their game kind of thing. All right, let's continue. What does it say? Says we understand and share the frustration and disappointment of our dedicated community in light of these repeated malicious and illegal leaks. However, we want to assure everyone that our team has never turned a blind eye to such incidents, nor have we ever engaged in or condoned any form of stage leaks for publicity purposes. Yeah, that's just more we take this shit seriously. It says when a similar leak occurred in June of last year, we promptly filed a report and actively followed up on the case. With the assistance from law enforcement, the primary suspect was identified, and the case has since entered the judicial process. Due to procedural constraints, we are unable to disclose further details at this time. I wasn't super active with Love and DeepSpace of June of last year, but just from what I know, so it was released last January, February. So that would have been about 5 months after launch, 5 or 6 months after launch. The game is still trying to find its footing. It would have been they would have been working on a lot of quality of life things, new features for the game and stuff like that. So that would have been quite frustrating for Infold to have those things leaked. I don't know exactly what was leaked. It doesn't matter at this point. I will say, because they seem to be taking this so seriously, I do feel like Infold has been working on something with Love and DeepSpace that they do not want to get out. Like maybe some new feature or something that they're adding to the game that they do not want to be found or people to leak or whatever within like their game and stuff. So I find this very interesting in terms of, behavior. Like why do people do the things that they do? Cause and effect, right? It's like why does somebody act defensive? Usually somebody who's acting defensive has something to hide. It's like the same sort of principle, when somebody starts chasing somebody and they start running, it's like, why are you running? Kind of thing, unless you have something that you don't want somebody to know. You know what I mean? So this is interesting in their response. Okay, so continuing, what it says here is internally, we have implemented comprehensive measures to strengthen our confidentiality protocols, including enhanced training for all relevant teams, stricter penalties for breaches, and improved workflow oversight to minimize risk. Basically, we fired anybody who leaked anything. We have also established dedicated monitoring systems and teams to swiftly detect and address any unauthorized disclosures. Again, we're watching our employees. Anybody who's broken any of these rules has been fired. As a result of these efforts, we have successfully intercepted several attempts to illegally obtain and distribute our unreleased content, i.e., we have fired those people. Regrettably, however, these measures have not been sufficient to prevent all incidents. Basically, once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. Um, so remember when they were talking earlier about, ooh, I don't even know if I can say it because of what's happened, because of all of this. Uh, I'll just say it had something to do with age restrictions. If you know, you know. Um, that could be part of this as well. Like I said, new features that they aren't ready to be released yet or to be known because it is it's their game. They get to decide when they want to tell people about things that are happening in their game. And people have been leaking that stuff. Okay. Continues saying, since the launch of Love and DeepSpace, we have been deeply moved by the incredible support and passion from our community. Unfortunately, such attention has also drawn malicious attempts to undermine our work. The illegal acquisition and distribution of in development materials is an issue that all game developers and players rightfully condemn. Despite our rigorous technical safeguards and continuous investigations, such leaks continue to occur. We fully understand the frustration this may cause, and we want to assure you that these leaks are in no way intentional or beneficial to us. I think that's kind of that's a cultural thing. So like I'm from Canada and I very very western, right? I think that um companies pulling stunts, like publicity stunts like that, and people being suspicious of that, I think is more of an Eastern thing. Like I don't think that is something that occurs right away to Westerners. I don't think that we like, it's not that I don't think it's that we're trusting companies. I think we just
Showtime.
accept that every company and corporation is scamming us, that
Why don't
it's
you add
like,
more
yeah, it doesn't
characters?
even matter if you're doing it openly or
Right
not.
next to
It's
your
like I think we
image.
just
Do
default
your best to
to
check it
that
out.
way of thinking. Um, and I don't think corporations here get caught as much doing publicity like stunts. And even when they do, I don't think the backlash is quite the same, because even if somebody gets caught red-handed here, it's like, oh, we boycott them for a little bit, and then like everybody forgets in like a couple months. Like Westerners, we have like really short memories, I feel. So I don't know. I feel like that's a cultural thing where, because that's like the second time they've said that in this statement, that we are not gaining, there's no beneficial gain for us, it's doing this for us posting this, and I think that is just I think that's a cultural thing. um I will say that, yes, I understand where they're coming from in terms of like, it's hard to keep a secret nowadays, right? It's really hard to, because of the internet, and if you're a game developer or anything, like I just feel it's very hard to keep a secret, especially, if you have a company and employees and everything. Like if it's not just you, if you're not the sole proprietor, it's just so hard to like keep a secret, because people, like, it's so easy to spread information. So I understand why, no matter how many safeguards you put in, no matter how vigilant you are, that information can and will be leaked. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast of the internet. All right, so what does it say? Leaked content disrupts internal development timelines, marketing plans, and planned release schedules. Aha! Aha! I knew it. I knew it. I knew this was part. Well, like I didn't
You
know it,
flatter me.
but like I
It's
said at the
nothing that
beginning of this
impressive.
video, this explains a lot. This
And
explains
thank you
so
for
much
inviting me
why
here again.
I felt this weird shift their in the way that they were communicating with the community. Wasn't crazy. I like that little bit of validation for myself. I wasn't crazy. Okay. Says more importantly, it negatively affects the player
This
experience
plushie's
and the
looking
valuable
pretty dog.
feedback we may receive on upcoming
You
versions.
won't be so lucky
From
today.
any
I'll
perspective,
do my
such
best to make it
actions are
plushable.
deeply
Do
harmful
your
to
best to
everyone
check it
who
out.
genuinely loves and supports the game. Once again, we sincerely ask all players and supporters of Love and DeepSpace to refrain from sharing any unofficial or confidential content. This includes illegally obtained materials as well as unverified or verified insider information. Okay, I have something to say about all this, but I'm going to finish the paragraph. We will continue to collect evidence and pursue legal action against all such violations and their dissemination. Even engagement driven by curiosity can unintentionally contribute to the spread and negative impact of these harmful leaks. Okay, 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 okay. I have a bit of a problem with this. So, like I just said, you cannot you cannot control everything. This is a little bit controlling. Now, I understand you had a big um breach of your security, and you're extra on edge and everything like that, but you cannot harm people for just saying their thoughts, for just giving their opinions, right? So like if I say what I think might be the future of Love in Deep Space, even though I have no insider information, and if I'm just, just saying what I would like to see, and that's true, and that's something that they're working on, can that be for them to think that, oh, I have some sort of insider information, I'm leaking content? It's like, no, I'm not. I'm just saying my opinion of what I would like to see in the game, of what I hope that they're doing in the game. Like there's a difference between me talking about what I wish would be in the game versus what I actually know, which is nothing. I don't know anything. And yeah, sometimes when you say things, it's a bit of osmosis from what you've heard around you. Like, I am not too deep into the Love and DeepSpace community, and part of that is because of all the leaks and things like that. It doesn't really interest me. I wanna know directly from Infold. I want Infold to give me a roadmap. I want Infold to tell me what's going on, state of the game, tell me what you're planning. I want them to say it. I wanna hear it from the horse's mouth directly. But sometimes, I'm scrolling through things and I see something and somebody is saying, like, oh, I heard this, I heard that. Now, it might not be true or it might be true. Who knows? I don't know. They're rumors. So you hear about rumors all the time and it can't be helped. And sometimes when you're talking, it just comes up because that's something that you've seen and it's something that you've heard. Like, I'll try very hard, but I think that you can't also tell people not to talk about the game other than what is actually in the game. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell people not to talk and gossip, basically. Um, like, I don't know what you want, but I think that this might be a bit of a cultural thing as well. I don't know, but I understand that the spread of rumors can impact things in negative ways. But at the same time, I mean, the onus has to be on the consumer themselves to also judge whether the source is credible or not. It's like, do I believe this source? Should I take this with a grain of salt? And I mean, I think that a lot of people that have watched my videos, like when I'm speculating about things, that you take it with a grain of salt. And I take everything I hear with a grain of salt unless I hear it from Infold directly themselves, like this statement. This statement is directly from Infold, and like, what can I say? This is them. This is from the source. I'm not going to dispute it. This happened. This is what they're telling us. Okay, what does it say? Continuing, it's really long. I know. Curiosity may arise from love, but true care is shown through protection. Okay. A few thoughts. Like all dedicated deep space hunters, we sincerely hope that every carefully designed detail can be revealed in its best possible form. Resisting illegal leaks is not just our responsibility, it's a shared commitment to protecting creativity, nurturing the development process, and safeguarding the player experience. Okay, I mean, I get it. I get it. It's like we don't want you to spread the leaks. We don't. It's like please, respect um the work that we do and things like that. On board for that. Obviously, I do not condone leaks. Although so I'm a bit like torn in terms of there's a free speech thing going on in my head, but also like so what do you do when the horse isn't saying anything? I wouldn't be looking for other information. I wouldn't be looking for other things if I was getting it from Infold, right? And I feel like a lot of people are that way. You wouldn't be looking for roadmaps if Infold gave you a roadmap, right? So that's where I'm at. So, I mean, at one point, I'm like, yes, I want Infold to have the freedom because it is their game to share their information when they want to share it. But what happens when they're not sharing anything? And I'm not even saying that in a way of you have never said anything. It's more of a what happens when what they used to be doing is not what they're doing and it just changes and they go silent, which is what has been happening for the past couple months. Naturally, you latch on to anything that you hear. And I'm not even just saying like on social media, like even in the game itself, it's kind of like, what is going on? Like, it just feels less alive, you know? Like, it just feels like we're doing this because we have to do this. And yeah, maybe they've been scrambling. Maybe they haven't really been, maybe they've had to change their schedules and stuff because it doesn't make sense to me. The schedule doesn't make sense to me in terms of, like, where's the multi-banner? Why are we doing banners, like, one at a time like this? It feels so weird. So, like, I thought when they announced reruns, it was gonna be at the same time of things. Like most gacha games. Most gacha games, the rerun is kind of like a bonus, right? It runs alongside the limited banner. But that's not really what's been going on. It's just been like one at a time. Even Zane's event. I think that was for me the tip off. Zane's event, the whatever, the grocery store one with the mini game, was so weird on its own, right? It was just like a 1 week. It was just Zane. It was just a little grocery mini game, which is a really good mini game, by the way. But like, okay, there was nothing else going on. It was right after Raphael's birthday, and like there was like a check-in event. Sure, okay. I don't know. It just felt really strange for just like a 1 week event for one character in a game that has like multiple characters. Maybe it's just like I notice these things more as a Xavier girly, and because he hasn't been getting like any love, like very small amounts. So it's like I'm just like, what the fuck? Like what? So yeah, I mean, I agree that we shouldn't be
We've gone home empty-handed before.
we shouldn't be spreading rumors, but at the same time, like
Try to look on the bright side of life.
that's what they are. They're like everything that doesn't come from Infold, we just need to take as, maybe or with a grain of salt, right? It's not gospel. I mean, even if somebody is like, this is leaked information, I swear, I swear. Now, it's different when it's assets,
could it
right?
possibly
And
be
I think
reminiscent?
that is more what they're talking about. The actual assets, like
I mean,
the receipts,
You use it as if
the
it were
actual,
a big fork. This is your
physical,
territory,
it's not
son.
physical, but digital assets in terms of code or images, things like that. So that is what I feel is more important to not spread, because that gives credibility to those rumors and leaks. But if somebody's just saying something like, oh, I think that the next multi banner is going to be space themed or whatever, like, I mean, that's just somebody that's just somebody saying something that they heard. It could be true, it might not be true. Like it didn't come from Infold, so take it with a grain of salt. Right. That's how I interpret it. I know Infold doesn't interpret that way, but I also know that they're in a position where they're feeling vulnerable right now, so they're being extra defensive. Continuing, I'm almost done. It says, our efforts to investigate and pursue legal action in response to such incidents will not cease. While we recognize that leaks are an industry-wide challenge impacting many game projects, our determination to protect our game and our players remains unwavering. Please also note that due to legal constraints, we may not be able to share updates on our investigations publicly. Yeah, obviously. So they're just saying, yeah, we will be doing some stuff in the background. We will be pursuing any sort of leaks, things like that, which means that I probably am gonna have to like unlist my video. Yeah. I probably will. Just because, I do respect the company and that you probably shouldn't have things like that, even though it is kind of my opinion, but, we'll talk about it later in a different way, basically. It ends with, it is an honor to stand alongside all deep space hunters in protecting our Lincoln City together. Thank you for being part of this journey with us. All right, so I don't really have much else to say about that right now. I'm sure I will later. So this kind of cut into what I wanted to do. What I was going to do was talk about Silas and his birthday, but I guess that we'll have to wait till later. So yeah, that's it for me. That's just the sort of yap session that got going. Let me know, what are your thoughts about this whole thing. Um,
It's like
don't mention any of the leaks,
It involves
please,
any and
because like not specifically, okay?
everyone.
But you could talk. Well, like let's talk about like how do you
This
feel
claw
about
machine
companies that
reveals
make
the
statements like
unknown
this? How do you feel about companies that like when they get their assets leaked, like do you feel bad for them? Do you think like do you condemn those that do? Um things like that. I mean, anything. I'm just trying to think. Yeah. I'm going to end it here. Sorry about the way that this looks, because like I said, my intention was to talk about Silas's birthday and I was trying something new and I didn't set up the VTuber. So this is what we get. Okay? It's like, I don't know, it's like a podcast. Anyways, thanks for watching slash listening. Again, let me know what you think. If you enjoy this, please like, share, subscribe, comment. I really do appreciate it. If you'd like to know when I post new videos up, hit the notification bell. But that will be it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Good luck on your polls, and I will talk to you later.